Anybody like punk music? Punk rock? Yeah! Yeah, punk. Because back in the 70s, punk came out, and then in the 80s, punk started getting mainstream. Then along came goth. Then in the 90s, goth became mainstream, and then came emo. Yeah, and then exactly. And then the 2000s, emo became mainstream. And it gets confusing because they kind of overlap a little bit, but they're not the same thing, are they? But it gets confusing. So I've come up with a little test. Next time you see some kid walking around the mall, purple hair, spiked dog collar, and you're not sure what he is, whether he's punk or emo or goth, here's what you do. Hand him a dagger. That's what you do. You just walk up to him and you hand him a dagger. And you watch. If he stabs himself with it, he's an emo. If he stabs you with it, he's a punk. And if he plunges it into the earth, tearing a portal in the fabric of space-time, opening a gateway into the underworld, releasing 100,000 demons of fire set forth onto mankind to devour the souls of the living. Well, then he's probably a god. And if he appraises its value and hands it back to you, he's a fucking poser, stab him. Die, poser. You are a disgrace to your hairstyle. So, here's something interesting, something that we can all relate to. Did you ever have to burp, and it got stuck in your throat, and you feel all bloated, and you can't really get the burp out? What do? You do the same thing I do. You suck air in, figuring maybe you can jumpstart the burp. Yeah, you suck air in, and now that air gets stuck, and now you feel like a balloon. You know, when you finally do burp, you're not done yet. You have to say, "Excuse me." Isn't that a stupid custom? You burp, you say, "Excuse me." What are you being excused from? No one tells you that, do they? It's kind of odd. You burp, you're not done, you have lines. You have to say some magic words. However, if you sneeze, you don't have to say any magic words. It's the person next to you who has to say the magic words. They say, "God bless you." Somebody sneezes and someone says, "God bless you." What an odd thing to say. Doesn't that sound like a rather strange theology? Do we actually believe that God is going around blessing people for sneezing? And what's even weirder than that is that we have to tell God to do it. You'd think after all these years he would have learned his job by now. You'd think he would just sneeze and God would go, "It's okay, I'll handle this, I'm God, I know what to do." No, he stands around and waits for you to tell him. And sometimes, okay, you burp, you say, "Excuse me." You sneeze, the guy next to you says, "God bless you." You cough, nothing happens. A cough is not important. It doesn't matter, no one cares about coughs. They don't get a catchphrase. Did you ever hear somebody make a sound and you're not sure if it was a cough or a sneeze? Oh shit, what do you do now? If I say "God bless you" and it was a cough, I'm gonna look like an idiot. But if I don't say it, and it was a sneeze, he's gonna think I'm an asshole. You know what I do in that situation? I mumble. He goes, "Ugh," and I go, See, now he doesn't know if I said it or not. It's on him now. Some people don't say "God bless you." Some people leave God out. They just say "bless you." They briefly. It's more politically correct. Maybe the person who sneezes doesn't believe in God. Maybe he believes in some other omnipresent supernatural entity that goes around blessing people who sneeze, but not necessarily God. Some people say "Gesundheit." That's completely stupid. What does Gesundheit mean? It means health. I mean, it makes sense to say health. I mean, it still doesn't serve any purpose, but at least it's related to a sneeze. But why are we speaking German? I don't speak German. The person who sneezes doesn't speak German. I don't go around using German expressions in everyday life. I don't walk around, "Hey, ich bin ein Berliner. Bart. I don't do that. Next time somebody sneezes, you walk up and you say, "Help." They look at you funny. Say, Hey, you want to wish me health, you speak German. English is only used for asking God to bless me. Yeah, people call on God when they see. People call on God when they puke. You do. You call on God when you puke. What's the first thing you say after you throw up? Oh God. It kind of makes sense when you think about it. You figure you're on your knees, your head is bowed. As long as you're down there, might as well kill two birds with one stone. Another time that people call on God is when they're having an orgasm. That's a little bit harder to figure out, but I think I got something. It's a little bit complicated. Hear me out. I think that a long time ago there was a preacher. And this was one of those hardcore, right-wing, ultra-conservative fire and brimstone preachers. And he stood up there before a congregation. He said, God does not want you to do anything that feels good. No, God does not want you to have sex before you're married. God does not want you to get a blowjob or a hand job or a foot job or a tit job. God just wants you to have plain old basic married vanilla missionary sex and nothing else. Some guy in the front row stood up and said, bullshit. I don't believe you, sir. I say God gave me a dick, he wants me to use it. And just to prove you wrong, next time I shoot my load, I'm calling God in to watch me do it out of spite. That's one possible theory anyway. Anyway, I'm Shawn Ravenfire. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Shawn Ravenfire again. I just want to give all